Welcome back to Mental Health and Addiction. I'm Justin. This is episode 21 of Mental Health and Addiction. In this episode, I'm going to talk about some of my own circumstances as an example of struggles that I deal with, examples of struggles others may deal with, and you could say that I'm calling myself out. Not easy. I may not even read everything I wrote down. I've mentioned before that I've had a concerning MRI with an unspecified number of 2 to 3 millimeter sized microvascular hemorrhages scattered in the right hemisphere of my brain. I'm anxiously awaiting testing in March next year. And it's going to be 5 to 6 hours of some kind of comprehensive neuropsychological testing and hopefully diagnosis to go with that. I also mentioned that I recently moved. I am basically paying a mortgage and stuff now, which makes me feel a little bit more like an adult. Or at least more of a responsible person. And not to say that if you're renting, you're not a responsible person at all. It doesn't mean that means. It just, I don't know. It has that impact on me. I have for a while been very concerned about my current and future stability. And like I said, renting is fine, but someone like myself at my age and in my circumstances, for me, I realize I'm 40 years old and I've lost more in my life than I've ever really had to lose, if that makes any sense. And that could be, you can look at that both ways, if you can think of it in both ways. I never really had to lose or had to lose, and felt that left me so very far behind. It was and is a lot to face. It's difficult to face. I've lost possessions, relationships. I've lost lifestyles. I've lost what I thought was my future, things like that. It's very difficult to get through something like that. Anyway, my current boyfriend's fighting for his disability, and lack of resources has left us having to choose literally between food and prescriptions. It was food, prescriptions, or gas, but right now we don't have to choose between food, prescriptions, or gas because luckily the clutch went out, so we don't have to worry about transportation anymore. We get to walk. So there's that too, which is actually not a good thing, just in case you thought I was being serious and you didn't catch on to the sarcasm. So we have to choose between prescriptions and food frequently, and although living here has freed up a lot more that I was having to use towards the rent, but it's still not a whole lot at all. But it's a lot more than it was. I mean, it was almost zero before. So, anyway, this situation of all this stress has had me feeling pretty close to being pulled under and feeling kind of like that drowning effect feeling that I've discussed before in previous episodes. I may soon experience yet another period where I could be unable to appreciate how I may come off due to the fact that I feel like a broken record and have been feeling possibly ignored of my own needs, or sometimes feel maybe that I'm being manipulated or deceived or something. But I'm tired of pretending it's okay to feel frustrated and be frustrated. I'm trying to pretend that's all okay, and it's really frustrating. And I need to feel heard and understood and respected and even liked. I feel like I'm not being heard. Everything I say seems to be very scrutinized as if I've got a rude or hidden attitude or agenda in things I say, like everyday things. And that's exhausting. So I've been trying my best to be able to relax and do things I like, but it seems like every time I'm trying to relax, sometimes it's like, oh my God, I've got this to do, or oh my God, I have to do this, take the dog out or whatever, there's a bunch of different things it could be. Actually, I went to walk the dog after I wrote that part and didn't come back for hours, because that tells you how absent-minded I've been. And I apologize for doing this video so late. I wanted to do it before Christmas, and it is Christmas Eve. But anyway, why am I telling you all this? Because it shows how difficult and intense that a mental health issue, even during improved but still very difficult life circumstances, though very much improved, and I'm very happy to. No complaints on the improvements at all. I have been struggling a lot with how I could change my own situation drastically, basically by a drastic decision that could improve one area of my life while making another area of my life possibly more difficult, throwing in an unknown variable, which I don't like because of my mental, problems. I don't know how much longer I can feel like I'm swinging from one monkey bar to the next and barely able to hold on, because it's like raining or whatever. However you want to look at it, it's slippery, and that's how I'm having to live, and there's no net for I'm dead. So that's how it feels, and that's what I'm calling myself out on. So I'm not perfect, you guys. I know what it feels like to still struggle with things, even if I am in a greatly improved situation from what I was, 1-2 years ago. There's still struggles, and there's certainly still struggles when you're poor, and nobody should have to be poor. It's really awful, and I won't get into it. I'm trying to make this channel a little bit more off of politics and into relevant stuff. Keep in mind, you guys, I know, and so please keep in mind yourself that Christmas time and the holidays are very, very difficult on addicts and families of addicts, whether recovering or in active addiction. Very difficult. There's a lot of suicides around the holidays of addicts, of former addicts, and of people who are estranged from their families for various reasons, or who feel they've been cast aside by their families. Please just be caring to the people in your families and to the people around you. And if any time is the time to get along, the holidays are. But obviously, don't go flying across the globe to visit people right now. There's a freaking pandemic. Do video chat. Okay, so identify what you need most in your life. Identify what you can do to help you realize the need and be willing to make the change you need, even if it's a jarring change to our temporary well-being, and will make larger improvements to your life as a whole. Quitting, your addiction is certainly fall into that category if you have an addiction. Please don't make silly New Year's resolutions, because you know how New Year's resolutions go. That ain't the reason to quit. Quit because you want to, and if you relapse, don't say, oh, screw, I couldn't do it. Just keep trying. That was just a relapse. If you're serious, you're going to keep going. No, that's not a reason to quit. And, some people that aren't ready will be like, oh, I relapsed. Oh, well, I just can't do it. Well, they're not ready. And it's okay not to be ready, because they're not going to be able to do it if they're not ready. And that's also no reason to shun them. It's difficult. Believe me, being ready is different than wanting to be clean. You can want to be clean without being ready. Don't wait for your circumstances to change. You've already been waiting and hoping for for improvements without substantive changes, haven't you? There's going to be some uncomfortable, things that happen with improved change, but you have to go through that uncomfortable time. And if someone's not willing to do it, then they're not willing to do it and won't participate. But you have to be willing to do it. And if there needs to be another person involved who's not willing to be involved, then don't waste your time. I'm not saying, fuck them or whatever, but I'm just saying, don't let them hold you back. And it's hard for me to say that because I'm struggling with some stuff like that. And I feel shitty about it. Anyway, I want you all to be okay with who you are. Don't let others define anything about you. I have an emotional support animal. If you need one, or if you think you would benefit from one and you are sober, please don't get one when you're in active addiction, guys. You can't really take care of a dog or a cat or a pet of any kind effectively. Don't do it. Just get sober and then get your lovely little animal that would be your emotional support animal if you need one. I have one, and if I don't feel like doing something, I take my dog with me. I didn't feel like taking a shower the other day, so I was like, you know what? He needs a bath anyway. So I took a shower with him. I don't care if anyone thinks it's weird or whatever, if it's something that you've got to do to, and nobody has to know. I'm telling my business, but guess what? I don't care. Anyway, human decency is required for stability and happiness, so be willing to be a decent human to yourself and to other people. Please be aware if you are a complainer and complain constantly about things. People are not going to like that, and you will be lonely. I used to talk a lot, and the more you talk, the less people listen to you. So it may seem like I talk a lot on here, but in real life, I don't really talk all that much. I do have opinions, but I don't say anything that I think because I don't really care what other people think anymore because it doesn't make a difference, and it's not worth arguing about. So just let it go. And that is my advice for you guys on Christmas. Don't get pissed off at people that piss you off. If you think that someone says something shitty or shady to you or whatever, who cares? Let it ruin their day. Don't let it ruin your day. It ruins your day when you let it ruin your day. When people you think have an attitude with you, it only ruins your day if you let it. Screw those people. They're not your friend. If they're sitting there trying to give you make you have a bad day, they're not there for your well-being. I don't care if they're in your family or not. If they're trying to make you have a bad day, you got to let it roll off and don't let it affect you. It takes time sometimes for you to not care, especially if that person, for some reason, maybe you feel close to or once felt close to before. Perhaps whatever it is that, like active addiction or a mental health issue came up that people don't understand or is misunderstood, which is very common, unfortunately. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, etc. Don't want to leave anyone out, so that's pretty inclusive. Love each other and realize that we really do all want the same thing, but I don't think everyone believes they know how to get there. Well, I think people believe they know how to get there, but I believe that they have very different ideas of how to get there. That's a better way to put it. And seems like the people who have opposite of what others believe are thinking, oh my God, those people are going to by going in their direction to try to get to point B from point A, by them going that way, somehow that is going to, offset everyone who's going this direction to get to point A and B. Say there's a mountain and you just have to go around it. One goes left, one goes right. You're still going to the same direction. Maybe we should just climb straight over. I don't know. That's my thought. Have a great Christmas and happy holidays. And thank you for watching Mental Health and Addiction episode 21. Let's call it outing myself a little bit.